Hey, this is Dr. Steve Wernicke with CellGen Regenerative Medicine. Is plantar fasciitis something that regenerative medicine could help with? This is actually something that I've experienced myself in the past, and I've had very good success with getting myself and many other patients through plantar fasciitis in the past. The traditional approach with plantar fasciitis is injections of steroids. And just like I've talked about in previous videos that you may have watched, steroids don't improve things, they just mask the pain. In fact, they actually cause the cartilage in your joints to break down even faster and even more. And you're now going to find that with that decreased cartilage space, that the arches drop and collapse even more, which causes even more irritation and even more inflammation of the plantar fascia. So what in the world is plantar fasciitis exactly? Why is it causing so much pain? And why does it hurt so bad? Well, you have three arches in each foot. So there's one on the inside of the foot, one on the outside of the foot, and one that goes across the ball of the foot. But underneath of those arches is a ligament called the plantar fascia. And that ligament now serves to hold the arches into that bow. But over the years, you may have had things like ankle sprains or injuries or just worn poor shoes for too long and started to cause those arches to collapse and drop. And when that happens, that ligament called the plantar fascia now is starting to get stretched and pulled, which will irritate it and inflame it. And it can actually even tear it away a little bit from the bone at a time. And now, as the ligament is being torn away from the bone, the body tries to strengthen that and reinforce it by putting calcium deposits into the ligament and the bone, and that is what we're going to call heel spurs. And those are super, super uncomfortable. So one of the classic signs of plantar fasciitis is that the person wakes up in the morning, their feet feel fine, they put their feet on the ground and stand up, and immediately it's, and they have sharp pain in one or both feet. And it feels like a knife just going right through the bottom of the foot, usually back by the heel. And what's happening is that pressure that you've just applied to your feet is causing that calcium deposit where the body is trying to anchor the ligament to the bone stronger, causing that calcium deposit to break apart a little bit. You take about 10 steps, each one of those unbelievably painful, and then finally it stops hurting very much because you've broken up those calcium deposits. But remember, now the ligament is being torn away even more. So what would one do about it? Well, the traditional medical approach, like I said, is going to be steroid injections and perhaps orthotics. And I'm a fan of orthotics, but the hard, rigid plastic orthotics don't usually support the arches as well as they could and should, and they don't allow your foot to move naturally. So I'm not a very big fan of those, but a soft, flexible orthotic that's custom made for your foot is a better option and a better choice. And then using regenerative medicine to help the body to heal that ligament tear up. So just like we talked about in other videos, a torn ligament where it's completely torn is not very likely to heal all the way, but a partial tear has a really good chance of healing and repairing with regenerative medicine. And that's exactly what's happening with plantar fasciitis. So regenerative medicine can do a lot to help that plantar fascia get healed, strengthen its attachment to the bone again, but without it having to be calcium deposits that do that, but instead just healthy cells that are what was originally holding it to the heel bone in the first place. So I think that regenerative medicine has a lot to offer you if you've been dealing with any issues with plantar fasciitis, and we certainly love to see what we can do to help you out. So to find out if your case is one that's a particular good candidate for regenerative medicine, obviously give our office a call. We'd be happy to do a consultation and exam to find out if you're a good candidate or not. And certainly feel free to post any questions or comments you might have below, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much. Again, Dr. Wernicke with CellGen Regenerative Medicine.